All right, it is time for the burning questions.
Ben, you took my sheet.
Oh, I did? There you go.
Very professional.
Our first burning question is, who are the top 5 most underrated players in the NFL, MLB, and NBA? So, do we have our list so far?
I have my list.
You have your list?
I have to get my list out.
You have to get your list out?
I don't know where
So,
my phone
would
is.
you want to
Okay,
start
well-
with MLB, NBA, or NFL?
Let's start with MLB.
MLB? All right.
Go a little bit off-brand for me. First name, I got Tyro Estrada on the Giants. Speed demon, plays a lot at second base. Good OPS, a lot of extra base hits. Good player. Next one, Mark Canha. Offensively, he's doing much better each year of his career. Starting to come on.
From the Mets?
Yeah, from the Mets.
Yeah.
The very one.
Mm-hmm.
Third one, Christian Walker, first baseman for the D-backs. Thought he was instrumental in getting them to the World Series, even though he didn't play well down the stretch. Thought he still had a very good season. Fourth, Logan Webb. That one we can all agree on, I feel like. Very available pitcher. A lot of innings pitched. Very good season. Last one, Bryson Stott, second baseman for the Phillies. Another integral piece on a deep playoff run that ultimately, ended a little bit short, but still a cornerstone.
And for you, Rob?
Sorry.
Yeah, no, all good.
Just had to
Yeah.
clear my throat there for a second. I'm starting off with second baseman Gleyber Torres.
Is this going to be 5 Yankees?
No, it's not going to be 5.
He's the greatest.
I had to make sure.
He's the greatest second baseman I've ever seen.
No, he's not the greatest second baseman you've ever seen, but he is constantly left out of top-tier second baseman discussions when he has been one of the most consistent second baseman baseball has seen in the last 3 years. Now, over those 3 years, has he been the best second baseman in each individual season? No. But because of that, he's been probably a top 5 in each of those seasons. But because the peaks of different players kind of pass him throughout those 3 stretches, people bump him down their list. But if you compare those 3 seasons all along, he should be right up there with the top of them.
We got to get through 45 of these.
I understand. You gave explanations for yours.
Okay, fair enough.
Did you not?
No, but it's fine.
All right, then I'm going to go Tyler O'Neill,
Good one. He's a good utility guy.
Lars Nootbaar. Great name.
Is that it?
2 Cardinals?
Yes, 2 Cardinals.
Okay.
All
It
right.
was going to be 3. I cut 1. So, deal with it.
I have two from this.
Who was the one you cut, just out of curiosity?
Take a guess.
Paul Goldschmidt.
It was.
What?
No way. Was it really?
What?
Yeah.
He's one of the best first basemen in the league, and everyone knows it.
No.
Maybe not this year.
Maybe not this year, but when he went to the Cardinals? Okay, D-backs, Paul
We have to do
Goldschmidt.
45 of these.
Yeah. This is.
Okay. I'll calm down.
Then I'm going to go Ha-Seong Kim.
Okay.
And one more?
Sure.
Aaron Judge.
Are you
I should have
kidding
said
me?
no. I should have said no.
Why?
I should have.
I'm
said
sorry. We have to address this. Why?
No. What were you thinking?
He is the best to ever do it. And he should be talked about more.
You are so delusional.
Okay, we're moving on. My top 5 most underrated players in the MLB. Number 5 I have is Michael Harris II. I think he's pivotal towards the Braves, and I think he's forgotten because there's so many Braves. But he's their defensive guy in the outfield. He saves a lot of their games. Number 4 I have is Aaron Nola. I think he is pivotal for the pitching staff, and I think again,
It's a good one.
same thing. He's good, and everyone knows he's good, but they don't know how pivotal he is to that team. And same thing, Aaron Nola. 3, Freddie Peralta. I think he's a top 5 relief pitcher in the league, and who knows him? No one, because Josh Hader was in front of him when he was in Milwaukee, and then he kind of got the second he became the guy in the bullpen, no one cared about Milwaukee anymore. so I got Freddie Peralta. 2, I got Logan Webb. I think everyone knows Logan Webb deserves to be on that list. And then number 1, same thing, back to Milwaukee. Brandon Woodruff. I think he is a phenomenal top-tier pitcher.
Actually, pretty solid.
And everyone thinks Corbin Burns. And well, not anymore, but in Milwaukee, of course. But I think Brandon Woodruff for a while was the ace for that team, and then Corbin Burns kind of took it in a way, kind of that year he broke out. So
By winning the Cy Young.
yeah, but still,
He just slightly edged him out.
Yeah, slightly.
weren't they back? They were there. They were the battle for Cy Young was on the same team. Like I think Woodruff was like third or fourth or something.
Oh, who was first?
Okay, relax.
Oh, okay.
Corbin Burns. But that's why Brandon Woodruff was underrated, because he was fourth and everyone forgot about him. So anyway. So, what do you want to go to next, guys?
NBA.
NBA? All right. You seem ready.
Alperine Sengun, and I'm sorry I probably butchered that name.
Oh, my God.
Houston offense runs through him, and nobody knows who it is. And admittedly, before this season, I didn't know who he was. Watch some Rockets games. Very good player.
I'm going to put it out there. I wanted to name a Rocket. I just don't know any Rockets because they've been playing well.
Yeah.
But I don't know who to say.
Fred.
Anybody on the You know what? I'm going to change it. I'm going to just put I'm going to give one away. Second on my list.
The Rockets.
Just any Rocket ever this year.
Second, Jared Allen. I have his jersey. That's the guy. Big shot blocker, rebounder. Finally, really, I think, is starting to hit his stride in Cleveland. Third, Desmond Bain. Everyone talks about Ja.
Grizzlies, right? Yeah.
Grizzly.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about Ja. He's a very good player. Desmond Bain is right there with him. He's his counterpart. And I know they're struggling this season, but Desmond Bain's still a very good player. Fourth, I had to be a homer for one pick, right? Duncan Robinson. Guy's lights out from three. Plays the high pick and roll so well and is an absolute spark plug off the bench and never gets named in any six-man conversations. Fifth, Lauri Markkanen. Very good scorer. Not the best defender, but he's putting up numbers over in Utah. And again, nobody talks about him. He was an all-star, I think, either last year or 2 years ago, and he's starting to hit his stride after coming out of Chicago.
I kind of went. Do you mind if I go next?
Yeah, go
Oh
right
yeah,
ahead.
disrupt the order.
So-
Yeah, that's fine.
So I went homer on the first one. Fifth, I have Lou Dort. He's the defense
That's
on
a good
team
pick.
and on a team that literally everyone else is more famous than him on. So, I mean, some for good, some for bad reasons, but he is the least famous of the starters, and I think he is a defensive captain. So I think he's huge for that team. Fourth, I kind of went a little bit. I kind of wanted to. I knew you were gonna pick actual players that are overachieving. I want players that are being slept on, and so I went a different route than you. I went Klay for the fact of I still think there's a second half.
I bet you Russell Westbrook gets on this list.
Third half Russell Westbrook. I think he's the reason.
Because I was thinking about putting him on my list, but I said
The
no.
Clippers figured it out.
He is.
He's the reason the Clippers figured it out.
He is. You're right.
That's exactly why I put him. And everyone's going to give it to Kawhi. They're all going to give it to Kawhi. They're going to give it to Paul George. They're going to give it to James Harden because they're the starters. But that sixth man there, he's the reason that it worked.
I also thought about putting Paul George on my list.
Paul George does deserve it. But I think he's just everyone's always I don't know, he might be right there with Klay in that same kind of spot.
Yeah.
And number two is any Rocket. I already said that. You made me change that one. And number one, I got to say it, deserves to be an all-star starter, deserves so much more credit than he's getting, and he is going to be one of the best guards for this season. I don't know if it's going to stay like that, but he's one of the best guards this season.
Kyle Kuzma. Go ahead.
Jalen Brunson. I still think people are just like, oh, he's the best sixth man. That man is legit. He is phenomenal and deserves to be an all-star.
Brunson is the best sixth man?
People say he's still a sixth man back when he was in Dallas. People still think that. And
Who?
I've heard it before. I literally hear it all the time.
We're talking about a superstar.
Yeah. And people still don't give it. It's like Brock Purdy effect. Just they can't just give him his flowers.
In New York?
No, not in New York.
We're talking land of the overrated.
Nah, not in New York though. But stop it. New York Knicks. This isn't.
I think I don't think he's
Nets.
overrated. I think he's very properly rated. He's a very good player.
You got
really like
properly?
Jalen Brunson.
I think he's underrated.
I do not see him being underrated.
Wow.
When you play in the Garden, you're not underrated.
I'm glad that we disagreed for once. It's that's kind of good. But all right, Rob, you're up.
Okay. So with my first pick, I was going along the same line you kind of went with a New York Knick. right? I'm going with Dante DiVincenzo.
Chen's is nice.
Right. Now my second pick, I'm gonna kind of tail with that one. It's also gonna be a New York Knick.
What?
Taj Gibson.
What?
No. With my third pick.
Are you just going to pick all Knicks?
Yes, I am.
Why?
He's doing it to anger us.
No. But now I am. Jalen Martin. And then
Who?
Jalen Martin, number 16.
He's just picking random Knicks.
And then next, DeQuan Jeffries.
You kind of had me with DiVincenzo.
And then I'm rounding out the list with Josh Hart.
Your reaction's making it even better. Oh my goodness.
I was told to pick 15 players. I kind of forgot 5 before the show started.
Let's go to the NFL as fast as possible. Liam, please start talking.
Before I throw up.
Before you throw up. With the NFL. Liam, take it away.
I don't even know if I want to anymore. For the NFL, I just all the emotion has now been drained from my body. Thank you, Rob.
That's what the New York Knicks will do to him, man.
Wow, actually, you're not wrong. I actually only listed 4 on here now that I'm looking at this, so I might come back at you with a 5th later. But first one, Keenan Allen. Doesn't get enough love. He's a top receiver every year in the league and does not get enough love. Second one, Montez Sweat. I think the Bears got the better of the Commanders' D-line. I think he might be better than Chase Young.
Really?
I do. He led both of his teams that he has played on this year in total sacks for the season. It's pretty good.
That's impressive.
He's a high-effort player, and I think he just plays harder. I don't know. Not to go into too much detail here. Third one, another homer pick, but love the guy. Bobby Okereke. If you watch Giants games, that guy is all over the field. Absolute menace. Fourth one, L'Jarius Sneed. You have him too?
I have him too. Oh my goodness, that's so cool.
Doesn't get enough love.
He's on a L'Jarius Sneed.
He's the, I guess, second corner, but on a very good pass defense that
only one touchdown.
No one recognizes.
Only one touchdown given up this year.
He's a good corner.
I was wrong, by the way. In a previous episode, I said that one of them didn't give up a touchdown. He only gave up 1 touchdown. Wow, I can't believe you also had L'Jarius Sneed. I went. Do you want to go first?
You can go first.
I went similar direction with you on wide receiver. You went Keenan Allen. I went Chris Godwin.
Ooh.
Very slept on receiver in my opinion. He has had a ton of 1,000-yard years.
Solid number 2.
I think he's a low grade number 1, but one of the best number 2s in the league. You don't like him at all?
Put him on his own team. He's not the same.
Really?
Yep.
Huh, interesting.
He's not a guy that'll beat double coverage.
True.
You get Mike Evans, he's doubled.
Up next, I went with defense, and he was one of your players at one point. Julian Love. People forget that dude just beat Jamal Adams' job. A superstar. Everyone's like, one of the best safeties in the league. Julian Love gets 1 start, gets 2 picks.
Guy gets me gassed up talking about him.
How crazy is that? So you gotta go
man.
You gotta go Julian Love. Number 3, I have gone back and forth, and I'm really going back and forth. The same position, different situations. And I think I gotta go with my gut here, and I'm gonna say it. I think I gotta go with Brock Purdy. I was going between him and Justin Herbert, because people go back and forth with him and Justin Herbert, because Herbert is, people forget that this guy's one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
I think Herbert's overrated.
But then you get Herbert's overrated. So that's what led me to say Brock Purdy. Because there's gonna be arguments with Herbert on that regard. Because people will be like, no, he's not underrated. So that's why I went Brock Purdy on that one. Then I have, of course, L'Jarius Sneed, the most underrated player in the league. Literally is
one of them.
He's probably one of the top reasons that they are in the Super Bowl. Like, forget it. Like, that is the guy. And number 1, and you're not going to like this, Liam, and I know you're not going to like this.
If you say Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, I'm going to jump over Rob.
No, I'm kidding. Number 1 is, who also should be up there with Comeback Player of the Year, but he's not, is Jared Goff, because people still think he's bad, and that man just played one of the best passing performance playoff runs I've ever seen. That man, I watched all the Detroit games from beginning to end, and he passed every ball he threw was gorgeous. He made the best decisions. His coach put him in horrible positions, and he, for 2 games, made it work. I got a 24-7 lead against the Niners, who are the most talented team in football. I can't believe that he did what he did. When he went into the postseason, I was like, he's going to ruin it. Against the Rams, he's going to find a way. The lights are going to be too bright for Goff. We saw it when he faced the Patriots and last time he was in the postseason. I
have to say, I don't hate it. He's starting to turn me a little bit.
Like, that's... Every ball he threw was perfect.
He had a great postseason. And I can't deny it.
The reason that the drives were stalled were more because they dropped passes. Reynolds dropped 2 balls. There was one that he couldn't do anything with. That was the other ball that was thrown like weirdly to the ground. Everyone was covered. So I'm not even going to attest to any of that. There's no perfect throw he could have made there. So I got to say it's got to be Goff at number 1. So L'Jarius Sneed was fighting for 1, though. He was fighting. Like, L'Jarius Sneed deserves 1, too. But, Rob, you're alive.
If you say Dante DiVincenzo.
Why would I say Dante DiVincenzo? My first pick was going to be T. Higgins.
Okay.
Next Jamar Chase.
No, it's not. I'm not picking all Bengals. Next up, though considered best in his position is widely underrated, and that's going to be Kyle Juszczyk.
Knew you were going to go there.
Ooh.
I knew it.
Really?
Yep.
I listen, kind of a homer pick because he was a former Baltimore Raven, but he is still very good at what he does, and people forget about the fullback. Number 3. Though not as great this year as he has been in the past, but still a really solid linebacker, C.J. Mosley.
Solid pick.
Now
another former Raven.
Yeah. Now this one is an actual Raven. I'm going with Patrick Queen, just because. Now, listen. People will talk about Roquan Smith 10 times out of 10 when talking about the Ravens defense. They will not bring up Patrick Queen.
Is Dre Greenlaw underrated?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll allow it. If you're gonna sit here and say Dre Greenlaw is underrated, then I'll allow it.
Yeah,
but
he's underrated.
If you say he's not, then I'm not buying it. I was actually putting the fate of my opinion in your hands. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, if you said no, he's properly rated, but you're wrong.
So let's just go through this though. We have 3 Ravens so far.
No.
1 potential Raven.
3 Ravens and 1 divisional rival.
Yes.
Do we have another AFC North team?
I wasn't going to, but now I kind of want to. Nick Chubb.
Who were you going to go with?
Who was I going to go with?
Yeah, before Nick Chubb.
I was going to say Brock Purdy, then he took it, so
Okay.
I was already going to twist my answer.
Yeah, I mean, that's valid.
It's time for locks and upsets. All right, so our current standings right now is I went 2-0 this last week. I went now putting me at 5-0 in locks and 1-4 in upsets and giving me a grand total of 6-4. Rob, you and Liam, you both went 1-1, which was Rob at 2-2 in locks and 1-2 in upsets, making him 3-4, and Liam 4-1 in locks and 2-3 in upsets, putting him at a tie for first with me at 6-4. So, who wants to go first with locks and upsets?
I'll go first.
Okay, what do you got?
My absolute lock, my clamp, my, lock and key padlock, tape it down, shut it closed. Bet the house on Vaasa Sport over Sapia La Paranta in the Finnish Hockey League. Absolute demons on skates. You've never seen hockey played like this. Tune into the SM Liga. You will not be disappointed.
I went with tennis. I got Hurkacz over Shevchenko in men's tennis.
Who?
Hurkacz over Shevchenko.
You got to stop taking these goofy picks.
Hurkacz over Shevchenko, men's tennis. Rob?
See, I'm just picking the over on Reba McEntire hitting the over on the national anthem during the Super Bowl.
Because you can't just say taking the over, because taking the over means the game.
Well, I was getting specific. I mentioned my specifics after the fact.
You're right.
I got there because she is a country singer, and when country singers sing the national anthem, they will hit that over.
All right. So, upsets. Do you want to go first, Rob? Do we go back?
Okay, I'll take this.
I'll take the under.
No.
She ain't singing that long. No way.
I'm taking Orange Gatorade as the Gatorade of
Whoa.
choice for the
Whoa.
Super Bowl. The favorite currently is red.
I thought maybe you were taking the Dante DiVincenzo over.
I'm going that the coin toss is heads.
Isn't this upsets?
Yeah, the odds are exactly 50-50 with that.
They're 50-50.
You can parlay it with something, but yeah.
Psych! I know, I'm kidding. I actually have the... I didn't have anything else.
You wrote down tosses heads. I'm reading
What do
your
you mean,
paper.
Psych. It's right there. Did you not know it was a 50-50?
Do you not know how coin tosses work?
Okay, so for my upset...
It's actually technically a betting favorite. This way Vegas makes money.
Okay, for my upset, I have CMC scoring the first 49er touchdown.
The first?
First 49er touchdown.
Okay. Well, I went Brandon Ayuk scoring any touchdown.
Wow. All right, so I'd like to thank you all for listening. You can follow us on socials at Dear Hollow Heroes. You can also email us through dearhollowheroes@gmail.com. Message us and let us know about the topics we discussed, or take of your own. Listen to us on most platforms where you get your podcast. And as always, thank you, Liam and Rob, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. Happy Super Bowl weekend, everybody.
Go Sports.
Dante DiVincenzo.
See y'all.